Okay, so uh, hi. So I wanted to show you a little bit of an explanation about my reels and generally about the description or specifications regarding to each artwork. So for an example, I'm going to show you around here. I googled it as a box dimensions and box sizes, and as you can see here it's H, Y, H, W and L, okay, which is supposed to be length, width and height. And you can see that this is the height, this is the width and this is the length, which is looks quite alright. Here, when you have a narrow box, it could be a little bit different from time to time, but in here at least, this is the length, the width, and the height. While, okay, here, so this box laying around, and this where it's supposed to be the depth, it's actually the height. And this is supposed to be long, so it's wide, and this might be the height, but it's depth, okay? And here it's length, width and height, width, length and depth, but this is supposed to be the height, not the depth, okay? Here, this is the lid, so this is supposed to be upward. So this is height, okay, this is okay. This is the width, I would have said long, and the depth is okay. And what about this side? Height or depth? I would have said just height. And for me, depth and width are quite of the same, and length, long. Okay, this is it. Okay, anyway, this is one thing that I wanted to show you. And for in the matter of screen, when you have something three-dimensional, so let's search, for instance, movie dimensions. No, this is the name of the movie dimensions screen. Okay. And come on. Let's say without the movie, screen dimensions. Okay. As you can see here, it's being said width and height. So usually when you're talking about full high definition, 4K, screen sizes, I mean, you have this section from side to side, which is the width, and this case is the height. But when you're talking about generally a rectangular shape, like a picture or a painting or whatever, then the width, which is the longer part, the longer section, supposed to be the length, and the height, which is the shorter one, supposed to be the width. So you have long and wide. So there might be a lot of ways to determine and to explain the dimensions, and I will show you how I'm considering it. So for instance, let's say about this reel that I've published, the swan. So you can look at this swan from this angle, and when you hold this piece like this, or when you tilt it a little bit, then you need to think of how you're going to measure it. You're taking a ruler and you want to, let's just say a ruler. So you have a ruler, okay, or a meter, and you want to measure it from point to point. What are the dimensions for this painting or sculpture or whatever it is? So for this case, the swan, you can look at it in this way. You can also view this swan like this from the front, and it can be viewed also at a 45 degrees angle, pretty much in the middle ground in this case, which is neither from the side, neither from the front, which is in this way it gives you much more profound view of this old sculpture. Maybe the 45 degrees is the best choice. But then you see this is 45 degrees, not 45 degrees, more like 30 degrees. But okay, this is more like maybe 60-70 degrees. Okay, whatever. So the thing is, how should you measure this piece? So what I've decided that eventually you need to have some kind of a main viewing point. So in this case, this is the main viewing point, and the only way to measure it correctly is, of course, without the base. This base, it needs to be here because it needs to hold it together, that it will not fall down. So this cone is glued to the base, and you can see that the base in this section is longer than the cone. So you need to start measuring with the end of the cone, and go left until here, until this part. And in this case, this is the longer part, so it will be length. Then, of course, there is the height, which is very straightforward. It's from here, from the bottom, of course, without the base. And you're going upward, not to this section, but the place where it is the highest, which is those kind of, which is those nuts. So this is the highest point. So from here to here, this is the entire height of this piece. And in matter of what I calling it depth, is basically this one. From let's just say this is like upward like this. So I need not to start with the cone, but from the nut here. So from here left until here. So this is the depth. So if I'm going back to this main viewpoint, so I have maybe I said something wrong earlier. So at the end of it, what I meant to say is that this from here to here is what I'm calling this 17W, 17 width, because it is wide, okay? And then this section is what I'm said here, 17 age, so 17 height. So you look at it like this, so height, and then the D is for depth, like this, okay? Closer to you and further away from you. So this is from here to here, the depth. So I'm not using L, which is long, or any other way to say it. Only by those three things: H, which is height, W, which is width, and D, which is depth. Okay, so this is about this piece. Now I'm going to go to another one, which is this bird. Okay, what kind of a movie do I need to choose to use? Let's start with this. So this is my bird. So basically this should be the main viewing point, 45 degrees angle again. But then when you move it around, wait a minute. So you have the bird like this, okay, the head here and the tail at the end. So this is like front and rear, and so it's being turned around, and then you can look at it like this, which is exactly at you, but you see it doesn't look quite alright. This is, I mean, fair. When you look at it from this point, it's also quite okay, but I believe that this is the best way to look at it. But eventually, considering about how to address it in matter of width, length, height, depth, and all of it, I need to think of whether is this kind of viewing point is the preferred one, and thereby this will be the width, this will be always the height, and the depth, or maybe the viewing point is supposed to be like this, wait a minute, like this, and then it's the other way around. The wingspan, okay, the wingspan in this case, this will be the width, the height this again will be the same thing, but the depth will be different. The depth will be from the beak, from the head, towards the rear side. So it depends on how in each and every single artwork or art piece, how I'm considering what is the best way to measure it. But this is regarding this bird that in a way resembles the Da Vinci plane. Okay, when I'm thinking of it right now, it's resembles the Da Vinci plane. And then there is another piece, which is not this one, which is this one, which is a relief, like a three-dimensional painting, if you want to call it like this. So as you can see, this is not three-dimensional. It's like a painting, okay? It's like a painting, but it has a depth. You see, this is spikes. It's not like a pencil drawing or a oil painting, which is like 1 millimeter thick or whatever, which is like three-dimensional. Here, it's not like a pencil or a oil painting, which is a two-dimensional, very thin. Here you see the spikes here. This is three-dimensional, so it's like a relief. Okay, so it's like relief, and this is a unique piece because it's neither a real sculpture nor does it a real painting. It's somewhere in between, like a three-dimensional painting. And this is how it looks from further away. So you have in this case the narrow part, which could be the width, and the longer part could be the height. But so some paintings or reliefs that hanging on the wall, some of them can be hanged in one way, or they can be tilted and being shown in another way. So in this case, this piece can be shown in either way, that this section will be above, or this will be above, or this, or this. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter how you put it on the wall, because it's gonna look just as fine either way. In each way, it will give you a different vibe, if you will. So it can be hung out in many different ways, basically 4 ways, and because of it, it doesn't really matter in this case what will be the height and what will be the width, okay? But the depth will be always the same. So for instance, I don't exactly remember, this is should be around 60 centimeters, and this about 40 centimeters, and the depth, okay, is about maybe 2 or 4 centimeters. So the depth will be always the same, 2 or 4 centimeters. In matter of length and not length, sorry, it's H and W. So in matter of height and depth, it always be the 60 and 40. Whether if it's going to be 60 on 40 or the other way around, 40 on 60, this is just a whole other case. So basically, this is what I wanted to say. And here it's another photo of me close to it. So you see, this is the piece. So you have the width, let's just say, for in this case, this is the width, this is the height, then the depth, and this is again another piece, but it is exactly, it is a precise rectangular, or in other words, a square. So here it really doesn't matter, because this and this are exactly the same. But as you can see, because this is a mask face, the only way to hang it is in this way. You cannot tilt it, because it won't be able to look the same if it be hanging upside down. So most of the artwork that you hang on the wall can be shown in only one specific way. The face, the forehead is supposed to be above, the mouth supposed to be on the bottom, and not the other way around. But in this case, this is a square, so in matter of depth and height, it doesn't really matter, but okay. So this is why eventually when I'm describing all of my artwork on Facebook or Instagram or any other place, this is the way that you will be able to understand me, is that the H is the height, 17 height. The W represent width, so 17 width, and D is depth, 8.5 depth. And so you can see here, this is my my symbol, my signature, not like a real hand signature, because it is a digital one. So it is my digital my digital trademark, symbol, signature, whatever you want to call it. So this is me. Here I just wrote it down in Hebrew, so it's Roy Kim, art and photography. This is, you can say, information, specifications. You can use a lot of words here, and on the bottom is what is being specified, or the information itself. So the type of this art piece, what kind of a medium or materials did I've used. For instance, when I'm saying a collage of whatever, and here on the brackets I said glued, and I maybe not always going to say that it is being glued, and I will only write collage of certain objects, because of course when you have a collage, the only way to make a collage that you need somehow to put it all together, so you need to use glue. So of course glue, it's not something that I need to mention. So this is this thing. The dimensions, the size, I will only describe it with centimeters, not in any other kind of a unit. It will be centimeter, not a meter, not kilometer, not millimeter, and not in inches. So it will be only centimeters. And the year, this is a more full description, that if I remember exactly the year, you can see here from behind, from further away, the whole piece, like a very nice composition when you have like a frame, and then this niche, this area, when I'm writing my name and Roy Kim art and photography, this gave me a space here to write the specification. And then here the art piece in the middle, because in matter of focal point, this needs to be in the middle, that it will took your eye out. So this is the maker point of all of it. And then above the name of the art piece, so it is in English and in Hebrew. My symbol, my signature, and here is also the year that this piece was made. So you have some kind of a composition that from this one, from this area to this area. This is some kind of a composition. It's like they're talking to each other. And then you go to this area of the specification, but the main focal point is of course in the middle, the art piece itself. And another thing that I want to say, that okay, it's very vivid, very clear to see here in red and in bold the year that it was made. And I also write again here on the bottom. From time to time, I will have an exact date, even the specific day, and from time to time it will be an estimation. So here on red, I will write the general date, and if it is a correct date, a precise date, I will write it down here as well. So you see here it's 1999, and here again 1999. But if it is some kind of an estimation, I will write down here after this 1999 in brackets I will say estimation, and if it is a more precise date other than just the year but also a month or a day, so this will be just the year as a short, and here it will be the full date, year, perhaps also the month and the day. So from now on, any time that you're going to see those kind of reels, this is how you should address and interpret it and understand everything about it. So yeah, this is basically what I wanted to say. So bye bye and take care of yourself.